Manchester United 0, Newcastle United 3. United have been dumped out of the Carabao Cup they won last season as Eric Ten Hag and the club's first trophy in 6 years. Joining me today is the one and only Denver Houston Red Army, the lead director singer for all United songs. LUI, welcome to the show.
Good to be here, Tim. Good to see you again, my brother.
Nice to see you, brother. We are still trying to recuperate from the Manchester Derby humiliation. We came to the Carabao Cup. We thought, okay, same result, different day, different team, same venue, same 3 goals conceded.
Yeah, no, it's the city game's almost not that bad because you go in knowing that you're probably going to lose. I mean, honestly,
Yeah, true.
but to go into a Carabao Cup match with a lightened Newcastle side,
Exactly.
not a starting Newcastle side, and then capitulate and play and just drop tools and play the way that we did. Look, man, this has been a long time. This has been a long time coming. Like we know that this is kind of where we know that this is kind of where we're at. We expect, certain things because of Ten Hag's success in the previous season. But no, man, this is bad. This is as bad as it's been in a long time. And I fear the future very much.
I mean, you saw the game, the goals conceded just looked lackadaisical and nonchalant, can't be
Oh,
asked. You know what?
the back four today was atrocious for me. Lindelof was terrible. Maguire was terrible. Delo was
Dallo.
terrible. It was bad. It was bad. Reguilon was terrible. There were several chances definitely in the late first half, so we're already losing by this point. But was it 2 goals in the first and one in the second?
Yes.
Right? Yeah. So I think we're already 2 down at this point, and they're just getting the ball top of the box, slightly off to the left of the box, and they have all the time and space to put curlers, make Onana work. Shots that were on target, so some easily savable, but those center backs they're standing, they're watching, they're within 5 yards, they're within a short distance, but they can't be asked to just make the quick step, close the space, put a body in, stick a leg out, something like this. No, it was absolutely embarrassing. It was abysmal from the back, to the front, but especially the back four. It was a terrible way to go.
So when a team is not scoring, can't defend, can't create, so what the fuck what can they do? Because they can't concede, they're conceding, they're not scoring, they ain't
They,
creating.
they can tweet.
Yeah,
They can
yeah.
tweet on
That's
Twitter.
what seems to be doing.
That's what they can do. That's about all that they can do. Um, and your heart breaks for some of the younger players because they at least still have the decency to get online and be like, I felt like I let the fans down. This is not the standard that we want. This is not what I expect of myself. You still get that from some of the younger players. The veterans are they've gone walkabout, man. They couldn't care less. They're in a depressed state. It's a depressing team right now. It's extremely depressing.
I'm hearing a big drum being beaten, Ten Hag out. The Ten Hag out movement, which is celebrating today, as in one step closer to the trapdoor. I don't think most of them are realizing there's literally nobody there to come in apart from Darren Fletcher, who's
Yeah,
going to
it'll
be a
be Fletcher.
caretaker to the
Yeah,
end of
it'll
the
be
season.
Fletcher.
We
Um,
can't afford to buy people to go get the Brighton manager. You think Brighton is just going to say, here you go. We got to compensate them. We got to pay him. You got to pay Ten Hag off, which is looking like 30 million, which United don't even have at the moment. So I don't think people are literally comprehending the severity of this situation. But okay, he's made some bad decisions. The substitution, the selection on Sunday could have been better. But I'm believing if we had the same full strength team we had last season, as in that back four with with not Lindelof, Wan-Bissaka or Dallo, Maguire, Martinez, Beran, and Shaw. I think that back line was solid. They put Casemiro or Amrabat in front of them. I think that defense will not concede goals like this, because this defense is just conceding goals because every week there's a different set of people in front of him.
How quickly the Man United fan base, we suck. 100%. We suck. And I mean, how quickly we forget, this is the things that Ten Hag was able to do last season. We said it then. We said this is a miracle. This is masterclass coaching at work. How quickly people forget. Jose Mourinho said that the greatest moment of his managerial career was getting second place with this team. How many of these players
were cursing
him
like,
team?
How dare you say that? United only want to be first. They don't.
No, but this is the thing. So many fans of other teams hate the Man United fan base, largely because of the success that we had in the 90s and the 2000s under Sir Alex Ferguson, but because we got arrogant. We got rightfully so. Rightfully so. 26 years of Fergie, 13 Premier League titles. Like, we put in work. We deserved to be arrogant. And we have gotten to a point where we are so arrogant we cannot see the wood for the trees. No. I mean, to say Ten Hag out is the most arrogant, selfish, ignorant thing that you could possibly say. It really I try not to be the guy that always says, oh, if you feel this way, you don't know what you're talking about. If you think that Ten Hag needs to be kicked out or that Ten Hag is the problem at this football club, you do not understand football. You do not understand the sport. You might be a fan. That's fine. You don't get it. You don't understand it. Exactly. You haven't done the homework.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like this. Go tomorrow. Make a straight swap. Ten Hag for Pep. Do it. Make a straight swap. Ten Hag for Pep, and Pep will tell you this team will not win the league. This team will not even get close to winning the league. This team is not good enough to if you swapped him and said, Pep, can you bring Man City style to United? He'd be like, nope.
They can't adapt. They can't.
People were Ten Hag is extremely Dutch. He's extremely Dutch. He's very blunt. He's very sarcastic in the way that he speaks. It's a kind of a stereotype that Dutch people are known for. Kind of having darker sense of humors and these kinds of things.
Just like Van Gaal.
Yeah, just like Van Gaal. And so he was asked, when are you going to bring Ajax style to Manchester United? And he said never. He said never. And people were like dragging him online like he was talking shit. No, he can never bring Ajax style to Manchester. Like, he is dead serious. It wouldn't work. It hasn't worked. It's not going to work because these players are not good enough to do that. They're not good enough. The training facility is not good enough. The stadium is not good enough. The staff is not good enough. There's some people in that staff doing amazing work every single day. There's some serious managerial issues.
Of course. People don't see that. Honestly, like, oh, take out, and I go back to the example. When Arteta took over Arsenal, first season 8th, second season 8th, third season 5th, fourth season 2nd. He got rid of Aubameyang, a fans' favorite.
Yeah.
The management backed him. He got rid of Ozil, fans' favorite. They backed him. We get rid of a player. Oh, you can't do that. Oh, no. Look at Klopp. His first couple of seasons, he struggled. But the employers stick with him because they see what he plans to. But what these guys keep doing is they don't provide you the tools. They listen to these players who keep bringing out the leagues. Oh, we don't. It's the training. It's too strict. The training is getting more difficult. That's when we get injuries. We don't like the way he talks to people. He needs to be more. hello,
I, I
this is
I'm
not,
really,
this is a job. If you
yeah,
don't perform, you see, this is where, if me and you don't perform in a job, we'll get fired.
yeah.
But in this case, we don't perform, our boss is getting fired. And we still remain on, or we get a new boss. Still
Well,
not to perform, he gets fired again.
I'm really glad that you bring up Arteta because Ten Hag has not been backed as a
No,
manager.
no.
And everyone will point to like, oh, but he brought this player and he brought this player and he brought this player and they've spent this amount of money. This is not how Arteta became successful at Arsenal. Not how it started. They backed him in the transfer market eventually.
Yes.
But the first place that they backed Arteta, and I mean like hard backed Arteta, was in the staff. He decided in the leadership and in not just the footballing coaching staff, like the club staff, he had a hand in letting certain people go. And he had a hand in creating roles within the club that were previously not there. He says, we need support in these areas and we need to hire people that are going to be directors over certain aspects of this club that are not football related, but have a direct influence on how we can do our job. I'm a youth coach. I coach children. I could not do my job without the amazing people in our staff and even just the parents. Like it takes an incredible village, an incredible training environment, professional environment to make a club work. And if people look at the game today, and it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. Honestly, I thought the City game was a little bit better, but I mean, we still got torn to pieces.
With City game, like you mentioned, and a lot of United fans, we were not expected to win that game, right? But we're expected to at least put in a fight. Don't just go in there and not being on his game in that game. We're looking at 6 because the defense, as usual, sat back. I look at those goals again. I still see that ball coming across the Haaland. He heads it. Onana pulls off a miraculous save. Same ball, same direction, same ball.
He
this time he's on his own.
Four sitters, open sitters, that he didn't even score. Did he score? He scored twice, right?
Yeah.
He should have had 6 goals. He should have had 6 goals because
remember that one-on-one he had with Onana after he rounded everybody up just to chip it. Onana did that.
He had some absolute sitters, and that's Harry Maguire's man. But that's
he lost him.
But that's supposed to be the great savior of all of England. Like he's supposed to get on a horse and go fight the monarchy. Like what? What? That's who's supposed to save the club. Jesus. Harry Maguire is supposed to save the club. And they call what I am saying, they call my words right now abuse. They saying I'm abusing him. What?
Exactly.
Are you
there was a stats that he has every time he started, United have won. Okay, look at the opposition he started against. Brentford, Sheffield United. Against Man City.
I will never ever criticize Harry Maguire for something that he cannot control. I will never criticize his looks, his height, his age, his race. I will never criticize the things that he cannot control. But as a footballer, as a professional footballer, he is one of the worst I've ever seen in my life, ever. And there's no amount of heart and goodwill that can offset that can make him better. He was horrible today.
Right.
He was slow. He was not aggressive.
It's like Newcastle were not even playing the full squad. That's what even baffles me.
They're not even playing the full squad. They're not even playing the full squad. And they say, oh, well, we didn't play Rashford and we didn't play Bruno. When's the last time Rashford scored a goal? Why does he even deserve to play today? How does the game change with Rashford in there?
No, it doesn't. Remember when we spoke earlier, you sent me a text. I said the best thing if United could win would be without Bruno and Rashford.
Yeah, yeah, and look, Bruno needs to be sacked. He's played 90 minutes for 90 games.
Yeah.
Straight. He
never
gets benched. He never gets sacked. Dude, Bruno Fernandes is amazing footballer. He's gassed. He's overworked. He's overused, and then he's played out of position. Like,
I don't know what they're expecting.
How is this person
on the right?
Successful? But you go back towards Ten Hag, and he looks at his bench and he goes, "What tools do I have? Who do I put there? Hannibal? Hannibal was garbage today. The yellow card was dumb. It was reckless. And then after that, he can't press, or he can't go into challenges because he doesn't know if he's going to get carded again.
Yep.
So I mean, you're basically playing a man down at that point, and you bring on, and I think we chatted earlier. You bring on Bruno in like the 66th minute, and it's like, for what? You're not coming back. You're not going to tie it. You're 3-0 down. Game's gone. Put your absolute best player in your captain and leave him there. Give him his rest. Prepare for what's next. That I will not agree with. I think that is a very bad move by the manager in that moment. But dude, again, he's looking at his bench and he's like, how is this not going to be my fault? You know, how is it?
Media.
You want to talk about abuse? Constantly calling for someone's job after they've put in an amazing performance over the course of last season. And after he's already told you that he doesn't have the things that he needs to be successful, that's abuse.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's abuse, man.
I was listening to
messing
ESPN.
with livelihood like that, that's abuse.
Yep. I was listening to ESPN, and Craig Burley kept on saying, I don't know where to start. I don't know where this team is going. I don't know what is done. This guy is the wrong manager for United. I'm thinking, like, bro, you were a footballer, a failed footballer at that.
Yeah.
Him and Shaka Hislop, who was a West Ham goalkeeper, who I would always remember considered a 40-yard shot in FA Cup final against Liverpool. West Ham were leading 3-1. This guy considered a shot from 40 yards out, which is way out of the 25-yard box. This guy considered a shot from there. And they lost on penalties, and he didn't save any penalties. But they sit down in the Armani shoes and run them out. Because these were players who were, Man United destroyed their careers back in the day.
Yeah.
So they've always had that. So now they're an opportunity to run them out. And like I said, I do not blame them, because most of these guys have no shame. They have no pride. They literally do not give a damn.
Yeah, I was shocked because I watched ESPN for a little bit as well after the fact. I was shocked that they even mentioned the Glazers. They did for like.
They did? Oh wow.
Oh no, it was for like 30 seconds. It was like, you know, he talked about the Glazers. He talked about the fact he talked about the fact that the fan base wanted the Glazers out. And I was like, okay, he's on something now. He's spitting facts. And then in the same breath, he was like, Ten Hag's not the guy for the job. And I'm like,
did he say who is the right person for the job?
Of course he didn't. Of course, because who do we get? We have no money.
Everyone run them mad, Ten Hag out, and get who? Like, you're just going to be in the middle of the season and go and get De Zerbi from Brighton. Brighton going to say, here you go. Brighton are not that small club anymore. They have plans.
We can't afford De Zerbi. We can't afford a Brighton manager.
No.
We can't afford a Sheffield manager. If we break Ten Hag's contract, he still has to be paid.
Oh,
he still has to be paid. And then you could try and sign a new manager on a 2-3 year contract with what money?
There you go.
The Glazers just posted financial report showing how much money we've lost.
Yeah.
We haven't made anything. We're losing.
That's why they're not able to pull any dividends out.
I mean, this is a circus.
It is a circus.
How much longer can we harp on this point? Look, I was thinking this on my way home from training. If we sack the manager, if after this game we go Ten Hag out, Manchester United, if we get Fletcher, if we get another interim, something like this, we will be relegated in the next manager or the manager immediately following that guy.
Yeah.
We will be relegated. This is if we fire Ten Hag, I'm officially calling it the Manchester United Dark Ages, because we're going to head for some serious pitfalls. The club is going to lose massive amounts of money. We will get relegated. Old Trafford will continue to dilapidate and degenerate. We will end up with our own the racehorse ground, Wrexham Stadium.
Oh, yeah.
They had the end that was closed. The end stands were closed because they were too dilapidated and they weren't safe.
Yeah,
we will reach those days. We will be shutting down.
If at this rate, the
like,
media
this is post-apocalyptic at that point. That is where we're. Yeah, that's the only path I see if you fire Ten Hag. Not because I think that Ten Hag is the ultimate manager and he's going to save us. I don't think he can save us under this ownership. But we are just so far out of money, so deep in debt, that this is the only logical direction for the club to go if you fire Ten Hag, and you have to pay him out 20-odd million, however much is left on his contract, or that he is guaranteed within his contract, and then hiring a new manager. It makes absolutely no sense. It's not going to make Mason Mount's shots today any better.
No.
And look, I'm not even saying Mason Mount played terribly, but I mean, he's taking shots from 20, 30 yards out because he's like, something's got to give. Something's got to work. He's like, we're not building, we're not making runs. This is if we fire Ten Hag, it's the same thing. We're just going to be taking shots because something's got to work.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Knowing this club, just say metaphorically, we get another manager. The first 6 games, they're all going to try to impress. They'll win those games. Then the real people show their real scale. Like, you know what? I ain't finished this guy yet. Nah. Then they'll just go right down because like I said, the lack of player accountability. You can't talk to players. You can't criticize players. You can't condemn players. Oh, they're going to go to the media, go to the agencies, and the agent's going to run them out. Like, you know, so you're looking at. I look at like, if Jack Grealish steps out, like, I know he's not going to go online and start telling Pep is a liar. How dare he? He can't do that. It's not big, but in United, it's so comfortable doing this stuff. You know what I mean? It's a bad culture that is, and that's like a spread.
And that's why I say that our fan base sucks, because we feed it. We feed the beast.
Oh yeah. We do.
We love it when there's dressing room leaks. We love it when these guys are on TV and we're hanging on to their every word. You know, people talk about how, you know, it's wrong that young fans only follow players. They don't follow the club. But that's exactly what you're doing. If you're, Ten Hag needs to apologize to Sancho and get Sancho back on the field. No. You're not supporting Manchester United. You're supporting Sancho.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that players can be abused and that players can be taken advantage of. That's not what that means. But what that does mean is that when there's an obvious wrong that goes against the direction of the team as a whole, when it's detrimental to the team has to take priority.
Yes.
And these kinds of things, these leaks, these interviews, these tweets, these are selfish moments.
Yes, they are. The lack of accountability and being, you see, when Ronaldo said, when he came as a kid, 17, 18 years old, Rio Ferdinand, Gary Neville, Roy Keane, they told him, you need to do this. Overstepping, calm down, do this. He said he listened. When he, who has achieved everything in the modern game, both in this same club, told the players in this same club, hey, do this, do this, do this. Oh, you don't tell us what to do. Even though they know what he's achieved. And they've not even achieved 1/10 of his Man United achievement, not even the Madrid achievements. He told the young players, they told him, oh, you don't tell us what to do. They don't want to be told what to do. They don't want to be held accountable. They don't want to be, it's like, That's not the way it works, mate.
When Roy Keane got the boot from the club.
Yes.
For talking about the players
And the coaching staff.
And Ferguson kicked him out and all these kinds of things. I'm sure there's a massive Roy Keane fan base that would have been heartbroken.
Yeah.
That would have thought that is a horrible decision. Like, don't do that. Like, yes, I mean, he messed up, whatever. Don't kick him out the club. 0% of those people, I'm sure, were calling for Sir Alex Ferguson's job.
Exactly my pen.
No one said Sir Alex Ferguson kicking out the captain, cut him. Nobody said that.
Roy Keane is one of the greatest players and captains to lead that club.
You can think it was perfect. You can think that.
What has Sancho achieved? Not even a sausage.
He had some nice step overs in Germany.
Exactly.
He had some nice skill moves in Germany. That's what he achieved. That's what he's got.
And you want they put the energy in the wrong things.
Yeah.
When you should be trying to win games for your club. End of the day, right? Your job there is supposed to play for this badge and win a game.
Yep.
Support the manager, follow instructions, and get your job done. You are worried about, oh, he's one of our mates. We don't like the way he's being talked to. What the fuck has that got to do with you playing football on the field?
Yeah, no, man. It's this is, man, we're in a bad place. Good Lord.
We are, we are in a bad place.
Good Lord, man.
We got Fulham on Saturday.
It seems to continue to get worse and worse, but it's for me, I think the only reason that I think that we can't turn this around in, let's say, in a 10-year window, we couldn't turn it around. Number one, because City fans are singing Glazers 10 more years over here, which broke my freaking heart. But God damn it.
Did you see when the fans at Old Trafford, the City fans stayed behind and they were applauding the players? Yeah. The players stood in front of them, waving. I said, look at this. And these guys have no shame that a team will come to your town, humiliate you.
Yeah.
The players,
look, the only reason we can't turn this around in even in any type of a timely manner, like there will be no uptick in performance and results, because number one, our fan base is completely divided, but number two, like our attention spans are so small. Like we were singing before the transfer window, we want Glazers out. We knew where the problem was. This is what, May? We're singing, like even in the summer when Manchester United were in Houston, we were singing, we want the Glazers out. We knew what the problem was. It's bad investment, it's bad management, it's stealing dividends out of the club, it's greed. We knew that this was the problem. Fast forward 5 months, 4 months, and Ten Hag is the issue. And Scott McTominay and Harry Maguire are Jesus of Nazareth come to save.
So look at it. Arteta, 4 years, 8th and 8th and 5th and 2nd. This guy, first season, 3rd, a trophy, and an FA Cup final. You want him sacked the next season after 4 months? Give me a fucking break, man.
Nah, man, it's so heartbreaking.
Because the fan base feed off what the media is critiquing.
Yeah.
You listen to Talk Sports, you listen to Sky Sports, you listen to those pundits who have an agenda. Tim Sherwood running his mouth talking about the manager's clueless because you want your mate. I think Graham Potter will do a good job. The guy could not handle Chelsea. If you can handle Man United, give me a fucking break.
One of the biggest things in American politics, right, is that like everybody knows that politicians lobby for money from like shady big corporate type businesses, right? Oil, guns, whatever, what have you. I mean, is it so hard to believe that the Glazers might invest in media to spin positive,
I would not be
or not
surprised.
positive, but just spin, like shift blame and
Yeah.
scapegoat players and coaches and this to make themselves no longer the target. Is
Yeah,
that
I won't be
it scares
surprised,
me? Is
man.
that so hard to believe?
Surprised. I won't be surprised because this
I
is absolutely
no,
embarrassing.
no, it's a fact. It happens. Like this is a fact. Like
Oh yeah.
this is for to shift between players being the problems in locker room leaks to blaming Ten Hag and imagining that if only we fired Ten Hag for another manager, it would all work out. How many
No.
times have we been here in 10 years? How many times?
Wait,
I've lost count.
you
What
go
we
look
got?
at it.
Boys,
Bang out.
Bangal, Mourinho,
Ole,
Ole,
Radnick,
Yick, Carrick, Giggs,
6, including
Ten
this
Hag.
guy, Ten Hag.
That's 8.
8 managers in
Were there
10
any
years.
more interim managers that I
No,
missed?
no interim. And now you want to bring in Darren Fletcher.
8 managers
So
who
we
have
got
all said
Fulham.
the exact same things. They've all said the same thing, and it's Ten Hag's fault. I'm lost. I'm lost.
Like I said, you're dealing with a different breed of monster fans who are looking for instant success. And it doesn't. Alex Ferguson took 6 years to win a league title. And those who can't remember far back, let me educate you. When he came in 86, 87, he won nothing. 88, 7, 88, 7, nothing. 89, nothing. 1990, nearly 4th relegation, won an FA Cup that saved his career. Even that season, 1989-90 season, Fergie out was the message. Fergie out, Fergie out. We were losing games there. We finished 6th to the bottom. That season, 6th to the bottom.
Yeah,
that's how bad we were. Then the rest is history. Imagine if we'd gotten rid of him at that time.
we'd be down there playing Millwall every week.
There you go. But fans are too fickle. They want instant success. It does not work like that. Not in modern football. Even if Pep comes today, like you mentioned earlier, he's not going to turn it. He's going to tell you like, I can't do it. Not with these players. Remember when he came, he removed even number 1 goalkeeper, Joe Hart. He said,
"Oh no, sorry,
remove him. I don't want him." Yeah. They didn't ask no questions. Thank you.
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
And
and it was successful.
Yeah.
You know, I think what is so difficult or what hurts is that there's so many blueprints that you can look at, successful blueprints that you could follow. Like if you look at the City blueprint, if you look at the look at Wrexham, look at that as a blueprint. Ferguson, Wenger, these types of managers, Pep, Klopp, their hands are so deep in towards the running of the club as a whole, not just the footballing side. And the Glazers are so scared to relinquish power.
Oh, yeah.
And it has to be their way. It has to be their people, so they know that they can keep their seat, and there will not be mutiny, and they won't
100%,
get
100%
by the guillotine. You know, obviously, like you look at Wrexham, for example, like, yeah, Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney come in, they pump this entire, the money into the club, but they have the common sense to go hire a very good coach out of a higher league and say, go for it, buddy. Tell us what you need to be successful. Again, Arteta, putting in, like, creating jobs, administrative staff roles, office jobs that are directly influencers of what happens on the field and the performance. Like those I'm not saying that Ten Hag needs to be in charge of the books and the finances. I'm not saying that. No. But he does need to have to truly back a manager, to truly invest in a football club, because it can be profitable. There are examples of this. It doesn't have to be, people always say, it's like a joke, like, oh, if you're going to own a sports team, you don't have to make, or you're not going to make any money off of it. It's not true anymore. It's not true. Like, there are so many franchises across the world that make bank, obviously because they have money and resources and things outside of football, but the football has to be good.
Yes.
It has to work. And that is the brand. The brand is
that generates.
And for us, the brand is the badge and the colors. And that's a recipe for freaking disaster, because the badge and the colors don't change. They don't excite. They don't bring in new customers. That's customers. You know, the football has to be the brand. And if we're not winning, if we're not lifting 13 Premier League trophies, you know, if we're not lifting Champions Leagues and FA Cups, then no, it doesn't make money.
No.
And you say, oh, well, it's because of the manager. The manager has no power. Oh, it's because of Woodward and these guys. They had no clue what they're doing. You hired them.
No bankers.
You hired them. You hired them knowing that they didn't know what they were doing.
That's my point.
Organizational,
you see,
Ten Hag is the type of manager that could be at a club for 10 to 20 years. He is that type of manager.
Yeah.
But you have to give him the ability to do what he needs to do.
Yeah.
And
you see, this club thinks they've given him enough money. What? To buy what players? And to get rid of what players? The ones he wants to get rid of, you overprice them that no one wants to buy those players. You give these players so much high wages that nobody wants to even buy them because the wages are so high. These guys ain't taking a pay cut. So you're stuck. So you're stuck with four players that you could have gotten 4 other players and gotten this 4 out. But they're sitting there. Don't forget, Van de Beek is still there. People forgot Van de Beek is still there. Van de
Beek is still there. Oh my God. We still have Van de Beek.
Oh yeah, he's there. He's there. He's still there, mate.
Donnie, my guy.
Donnie is there. He is there, man.
I'm sorry, dude.
So Louis, look at this.
This must be what limbo feels like.
We got Fulham on Saturday. Fulham didn't play this week. They have a rest. Man United are playing away. We've lost to City. We're out of the Carabao Cup. What do you think can these guys do against Fulham on Saturday?
Only the football gods know at this point. Only the gods know, man. Obviously, on paper, we win. On paper, we win, but in the state that the team is playing, in the state that the club is in, every game at this point is a toss-up. Can we go to Copenhagen? Or no, Copenhagen are playing at Old Trafford, aren't they?
No, we're going to Copenhagen on Wednesday.
Yeah. So can you go to Copenhagen and win? I don't know. You know, who do you play? Who do you drop? Yeah, Lindelof, Maguire, and Johnny Evans. Yeah, they had some good games. Are they the starters? Does that make sense? Does Rashford need to be dropped? I mean, you're missing so many pieces already. You already didn't get the players that you wanted. You know, your injury list has been a mile long, which probably is a direct result of the training conditions that they're under in a dilapidated training environment. Probably lack of either lack of quality in your medical staff, because there's no investment there either. I mean, all the major problems can always be pointed back at the same underlying problem. So do we go to Fulham and do we get a win? Up front, I'd still start Højlund. Maybe you let Palestri and Garnacho go. I don't think Anthony's offering you much lately. Sancho's obviously completely out. Rashford hasn't been scoring goals. He doesn't play today.
Doesn't create.
Doesn't score, doesn't create. Do you bring him in? Casemiro, I still think he's one of the best players in your team. People who are saying that he hasn't had a good start to the season, I don't think anyone has. So I think you start him. Do you bring Bruno back in? I think you have to. I don't think you have a choice. Mount was terrible today. I mean, I thought the shots were ambitious, good, that someone was taking shots, but they weren't dangerous. Half the time, there are other options. So who's the third? Amrabat's? Maybe you go double pivot just to save face.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
wait, Fulham will
too,
come out on all guns blazing.
this is where we're at. It's like we're looking at lunch meat scraps and we're trying to like mold together a prime rib dinner. It's not going to work. They're like, I mean, you know what I mean? It's like trying to sell Lunchables as like a charcuterie board. Like, what do you? How do you make this? How do you turn this around? Look, I think it's the rest of the season is going to be rough.
Right,
We are in the dark days ahead, and I think that if we continue to lose, the only logical expectation is that Ten Hag gets fired because this is what the ownership, this is their go-to move. If Ten Hag gets fired, you cannot bring in a new manager, so it has to be an interim manager, probably for the rest of the season, maybe for 2 seasons. Yeah, you're looking at relegation. You really, really, really are. And people say that sounds dramatic or drastic or something like this, but no, man, this is getting bad. This is getting really, really, really bad.
So next 2 games, we're already out 1 trophy. So next 2 games, if you don't get a result against Fulham, you don't get a result against Copenhagen, I think the Ten Hag, the drum is going to start beating louder. If we lose to Fulham and we get knocked out by Copenhagen next week, I think the drums are going to get louder.
If he loses to Copenhagen, I could imagine that's it. I can imagine that he gets the axe at that point. God, man, that's really what it is. I mean, his job is hanging on by a thread. It's game to game.
And the players just can't do anything. And that's what is baffling me.
And I honestly think, and people are saying, oh, Ten Hag has lost the dressing room. Ten Hag has lost the players. They're not playing for the manager. I think they're not playing for the club. Yeah, when I say this team looks depressed, I mean like individual players look like they are sad. Yeah. Like they are depressed. I think that, they're getting ripped online because it's easy to take shots at a former giant. We are a former massive club. Yeah. And it's easy for us to have been as arrogant for as long as that we have. We're gonna wreak abuse. Any abuses that's coming is coming from outside the club. So I mean that's hard. Then you're told that you have to perform and that you have to win games, and and your training facility is falling apart. That's hard. That's depressing. That makes you sad. Then if you're a superstar, there's a joke is what's the reward for doing a good job? More work, right? Because the best guy in the office always gets more responsibilities, right? It's the same thing in the football field. Now these guys that are the best players are expected to have.
Yeah. You there? She's frozen. Are you all right? Can you hear me?
Magical moments. The club is not providing them.
Right.
That's for sure. It's really hard to say. If we lose, I think we can get a result, maybe even draw against Fulham. If we lose to Copenhagen, that's probably all she wrote, man. And then we're looking for a new manager.
Wow. Louis, thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you for being on the panel.
Fun,
as United fans, we all know this is where the club is. We're looking at dark times, but I personally think it comes down to these players to pull their socks up. They complain too much, they whine too much, the socks are too tight, the boots are too tight, training is too hard, and this and that. I think that the manager's too strict. Fucking grow up, mate.
No, man, and I still.
Oh, we've lost Louis again. So while we
think that the players have been absolutely abysmal and they've been absolutely poor. and I totally understand that. Again, though, I don't think Ten Hag has the authority to cut the players that he needs, because he can't bring the players. Not that he can't, he could cut them because he already cut Sancho. He can cut these players, but he's not back.
The consequences will be severe.
He can't bring in anybody else, so he's stuck with what he's got. And man, like if you know that the ownership is not going to bring in new players, what is forcing you to work your hardest? What is forcing you to have a good attitude? Nothing, because you know you're not going to get dropped. You know you're not going to get fired. Because what else are they going to do? Oh man, it's so bad. So bad.
So Louis, I look forward to seeing you over the weekend. Hopefully we could communicate and see how this match is against Fulham on Saturday morning, early kickoff. And we shall take it from there. From all of us, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Glory, glory, Man United. Louis, I shall see you very soon. You take care. Thank you very much.